When we hit problems in our flute playing, there'll be all sorts of things that we can look at, but one of the crucial things that you can do is to look at whether you've got excess tension somewhere or not enough tension. It's one of the reasons why playing the flute can be a little bit frustrating, because one minute you're told to relax, 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 and then the next minute you're told to engage, engage, engage. So we're just going to chat about some of the areas where you might want to engage a little bit more, and some of the areas where you might want to relax, and sometimes when you have to do both at once. I'm going to use an arpeggio to just demonstrate some of these areas, but you can find this in all sorts of aspects in your flute playing. So if we take an arpeggio, sometimes you might find that your top note is a little bit squashed, or it's out of tune, or the sound isn't quite as nice as others, or it might be the bottom note. So the first thing you would want to do is take a really good breath in. So when we take a breath in, we're going to expand our torso and open up our throat so that the air can gush in. So there's the first place that you've got to really relax and make sure that your torso is just open to accepting that breath in. We're not actively sucking in the air, we're just letting our body do what it does best, and if we're relaxed, it'll do that very well. Once I've taken that breath in, I'm using engagement in my abdominal muscles to help our diaphragm work really freely. So that's really just, I don't know, I like to explain it if somebody's coming up and about to tickle you or punch you in the tummy, you would just put a little bit of engagement into these muscles, and that way internally your diaphragm can work as freely as it can. So now that my diaphragm's working well, it's using its pressure to get the air out at really good speed, and I'm able to vary the speed. So as I ascend in the arpeggio, I'm able to speed up the air. Next thing I have to do a checkup is, am I holding tension in my jaw? In which case, is my embouchure really fixed? If it's fixed, it's not going to help us with this arpeggio. We've got to be nice and flexible so that we can change the angle of the air for these higher notes. So just do a checkup to make sure you're not holding any unnecessary tension in your jaw, and it can move freely in order to adjust the angle of the air. So we've got soft torso to breathe in, engagement in our abdominal muscles as we blow out, taking the tension away from our jaw, but lips firm enough to direct to the air. So the nozzle of our hose pipe, if you like, needs to direct to the air. Then we need to keep that constant airflow. So then you can do a checkup round elsewhere. So if you're gripping with your fingers, and this will depend on you having a really good hand position, you shouldn't be gripping with your fingers. If you are, you're going to find a restriction in how fast you can play or how smooth these notes can be played. So really trying to take the tension out of your fingers so that they can move as freely as you can. The obvious ones, of course, are just to check that your neck, your shoulders, your knees are all soft, and allowing just the tension to be where you want it to be to make your flute playing the best it can. If you want to develop this further, I highly recommend using the Reichert daily exercises. I use number 2, goes super slow, and it goes through all the keys so that you can check that you're making a beautiful sound on each of the notes, and you get really smooth transition between the keys, checking up on tension and checking up on flexibility as well. Who knows, maybe this video might have helped you look at your flute playing in a different way today. If it has, or if you've got any comments, please like and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts.